Hey, Law, yes or
What's
no
up,
to
buddy?
the Clark pads?
Sure, let's do it.
I'm just speaking from my wish list because I'm gifted. I'm levitating and I'm lifted and I'm taking it all. And when I'm all up in your business, don't get it twisted. You better find out where my fist is because I'm taking it all. And any shot that I call, you know I don't miss. Because I was made for this. I'm at the top of every list. I was made for this. I was made for this.
I love this place so much. Like, it's so beautiful. The light's just like being partially blocked by the
All right, so let's talk about the Clark pads here. Well, I guess we have the bumpers as well, and then the pedals. Well, there's an entire ecosystem here, which you can clearly see. And from the forefront, Clark's genesis came out of the guys who like to jump, but it's pretty obvious that it's not just made for guys like Law and my buddy Charlie. So most riders, most styles can benefit from any of the things in this system. So they work well for me. I have Clark pads on every one of my wheels. I have it on my Sherman. I've got it on my V12.
Take it, take it, take it, take it. Down the car, down the car. Get it up, get it up, get it up. Yeah, good.
So let's start with the Gen 2 Clark pads in this lovely bright orange color. Not my color, not my bag. I'm more the black kind of style. But the cool part is you can get these in a wide variety of colors on his site. And I'm fairly certain if you have a very specific color that you want, if you email them, they can try to work that out for you to get, you know, what you need for your wheel, because I know everybody loves to have their custom colors. We're here to talk about what the function of all this stuff is. So this is the Gen 2 pad. It's probably the most universal, I think. It's my favorite. I think if most people are getting into buying some of the Clark stuff, you're gonna wanna get into the Gen 2. The benefit to this is it's got a bit of a more aggressive shape here than I think the Gen 1s do. And also you have the hook back here and then the hook up in front, so you can really kind of dig in if you really need it for jumping or whatever to really get some lift and some locked in feel for your instep and also on your heel if that's how you want to use it. So once your foot's down here, you can use this to kind of crank up and lock your heel underneath this when you need it. Some people don't like that, not a big deal. You can choose to just arrange it whatever works best for you. And then if you are a cruiser and you're not really someone who's jumping or using it for technical riding, sort of the key here to this is the higher up you go on the side of your wheel, the less locked in you'll feel with it. So if you're new to Powerpads, specifically buying some Clarks, it's gonna take some time to get used to if you're not really a pad user. The first time I got it, it took me a few days to kind of get used to it. I was not used to being so close to something, keeping me, you know, locked in sort of. But I found, like I said, you raise it up a little bit higher, you're not as locked in. So you could, it makes sense. Like if your instep is here and your foot's here, it's like you're really tight and locked in. That's great for the guys doing technical stuff and the guys who are wanting to jump and do all kind of craziness. As you lower it down, now you're not locked in, your foot can kind of slip out if it needs to. And obviously this is the brake side, this is the acceleration side, and the huge benefit to any of this stuff is more power out of your wheel in the moments that you need it. Aside from those, we have Gen 1s he's still kind of selling, and then Gen 3s, which I'm excited to tell you about, which are these over here. And these are foam pads. And well, you can already see that they split apart like the Mike Leahy one. So I have like the big boy, you've seen it in the video already, but the big boy pads that kind of break apart. And this is so killer. I mean, I think he started to see just how awesome this was and how people responded in the community to, look, if you get this and you're like, man, I enjoy the Gen 2, but it feels a little too tight, a little too locked in, no big deal. Boom, you pull that joint apart and then you can have it whatever spacing you want. And then on top of that, if you're somebody who really wants to customize it and get crazy with the angles, I mean, you can see you just crank it whichever way. So maybe your brake, you like straight up and down. But maybe you're someone making big jumps out in the West Coast, and when you jump, you lean your legs forward really far, and this is preventing you. Well, you could just turn it so the angle is much steeper, so you can actually really bend your legs down forward in mid-jump. So there's a lot of versatility to this. I do have to mention 2 things about this. I think the first foam pads of the Gen 3 here are already online. You can purchase it now, but they don't come with this laser split here. That will be coming for like future iterations of that. And depending on when you're watching this video, maybe it is available at that time. Maybe now at the time, enough time has passed. But if you're early bird watching this video, these won't be laser cut just yet. That's coming very soon though. I think I've successfully convinced them to come with some Velcro, so it'll be the hard Velcro part, I guess. So if you're someone putting Velcro on your wheel to put power pads on, put the soft part on the wheel and then the hook part on the back of your pads. So this is a huge useful system for anybody who's riding in any terrain to give you some extra safety for whether it's braking hard or needing to accelerate hard out of the way of some obstacle or a car or whatever, or bunny hop over a pothole. Like there's a lot of use cases for power, acceleration, and also for braking, and also for jumping. So all can be used for a more exciting experience, a more responsive experience, and also a more safe experience. So Charlie made the mistake of telling Law that he was just gonna put one pad forward and one pad back, because that's something that I do for cruising around. But if you're gonna be jumping with any kind of pad setup, it's probably better to have it equal. Annoyingly so, as somebody who likes to ride asymmetrical and offset.
Yeah, man. And am I gonna be able to sit?
No, no
Sit
sitting.
either way, but
You're gonna be able
you can
to.
sit.
Dude, I need to be able to sit, man.
You just gotta fill up that little gap right here.
Like good?
In theory.
Alright, is there like a wall?
They're asymmetric, but it's.
There's no wall. You have to just be a, a man.
You just gotta be committed to the game. Which foot do you like? Which foot do you like better?
If we jump back over here, we have these bumpers. So these bumpers here are for an EXN, so they look kind of large. Oh, sorry, this is the EXN, and I believe this is an MSP, maybe? I forget exactly. These are all 3D printed. They really hold up well, and I've seen someone, actually Mike, who works with Lazy Rolling, the armored hoodie company. He has an EXN, so I guess he would have had these on. And he had these bumpers on, and he had Clark pads on, and he took a nasty spill in some mud kind of recently. And I saw the wheel. This was scratched up, so it didn't look as pretty, but it still looked fine. It was scratched up, and if you know the history of all Gotway wheels, like basically they all tend to split down the center, this saved that. And also his side pads help save the wheel as well, so added unintentional bonus. If you got a major wreck, the side pads and or the bumpers are going to help preserve your wheel in the event of a crash and hold up very well. So big fan of these. Definitely if you're thinking about protecting your wheel from any kind of crash, whether you're jumping stuff or just high-speed riding. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about are the pedals. These are the belle of the ball, really. I mean, these are awesome, and everybody should have some on one of their wheels, if not all their wheels. But this is sort of the completion to the Clark ecosystem. I mean, he spent a lot of time on these, and they really show through. So I find that if you're in any kind of climate where you have a lot of snow, mud, dirt, whatever, this style of pedal is great. But obviously on top of that, he's got these awesome spikes on here. And this iteration, which I believe is the final here, it has the ability to have these screwed up or down to pull them out. So if you wanted less, you could just unscrew them completely, I think. And then there's a magnet here to, obviously, a lot of us like to have our stuff go whoop, fly up, and then attach to the magnets that's inside of our wheels. So he's thought about that and put that in here, and it's secured in place with these nice little like hex screws in there, so that's fantastic. And finally, we have this little shim in here. So if you have a veteran wheel, this is what the shim is for. But if you have a Gotway wheel, go ahead and pull this off. You don't actually need it. And then just put those screws back in there. So he's really thought about this, and the fact that you don't need spacers is a thing that a lot of guys are loving. So there's nothing to lose when you throw this on your wheel. You're not losing a spacer or anything. It just fits perfectly. It's really well machined. And of course you have like the grub screws at the end here and here. You'll notice that their cutout here is to sufficiently get locked into place underneath your wheel. This is sort of the benefit to this entire ecosystem here. And this is like, if you're sold out to the Clark brand like I am, this makes a lot of sense. So you can basically have your pedals down, and when it's time to wrap it up and come in for the day, or trolley it into the store or whatever, you want to kick your pedals up, boom, they fly up and lock right in. It's like a perfect pairing right here. So this is the huge benefit to these, aside from the fact that they are really well designed spikes. So if you haven't tried a pair of these pedals, definitely order yourself some. I'm a big fan of these. I'm likely to be testing these out for much longer than I'm supposed to on my Veteran. And lastly, they make some amazing stands. And quite frankly, they're my favorite stands on the market. Well, let's take a look.
Hi guys, Chris Clark from Powerpads here. I just wanted to show you a little bit about the stands that we make. We make them for all the major wheels, all the colors, they're all on the website. And here we're showcasing the Veteran, the S18, and the Monster Pro. The Monster Pro, there's the feature that you can actually roll it in and out of the stand. The other ones I can't speak for. I didn't design it specifically for that, but some conditions might allow that. But for the Monster Pro, it goes in and out just like that. Now keep in mind, you do want to fasten it to the floor if you're going to utilize that feature.
So this is just a flyover view of what all that Clark has to offer. There's even more styles of pads on his website. Like I mentioned, I have the Mike Leahy version. I love those on the Sherman. I hope you'll dig into it. Again, if you're looking to buy these, the V2 is where I would go first, unless you are thinking you really want these nice, new, beautiful foam ones, then I would go for the Gen 3s. So if you're looking to support an American company that is definitely a big part of the EUC community, Clark is a rider himself, that's what all this kind of spawned out of. Definitely buy yourself some Clark paraphernalia, support the local community here in America, and you'll be happy and satisfied with the product you get. I now have a lot of stuff, as you can see here. Now I've got to double check with Clark, but I'm pretty sure he'll be down with it. But I don't want to just hand it back to him and pay for all that shipping for that. What I'd rather do is give it away to you guys out there. So if you're serious about wanting any of these pads or bumpers or pedals, I don't know if I can give the pedals away. Maybe, we'll see. But anyways, we're gonna do a major giveaway of all this stuff, and we're gonna do it through my Instagram account. So if you're not following that, here it is right here. All right, so now you have that. We're gonna do something very creative through that, so stay tuned, follow that account, and I will announce either in the community tab here on my channel and then also on the Instagram what you'll have to do to win some of these things for the giveaway. Still gotta figure out what's really creative and fair for all of you guys out there. We'll find something fun to do, and then we'll give these away to you guys because I don't need all this stuff. Clark really wants to bless the community. So stay tuned to my Instagram as we'll have a massive giveaway and we'll try to announce it other places as well. But I think this about wraps it up for all the Clark stuff here. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative and that you've maybe got a little more clarification on maybe something you might want to buy, whether it's some bumpers or some of the new Gen 3s or Gen 2s or whatever, or you're eyeing these really awesome looking pedals over here. I hope that you have enough info. If not, leave me a comment down below. If you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. This has been a great, fun video. Thank you to Charlie. Thank you to Law for helping me out with this. You guys are truly, truly talented riders, so thank you. If you guys don't follow them on social media, go follow them. If they have handles, I'll put them here. If they don't have a handle, Charlie is going to be starting a YouTube channel soon. He hasn't mentioned this, but I'm going to push him right here. Charlie, get that YouTube channel started right away. You're a talented guy. I like the art you're putting out, so definitely start that. Show the world what you're made of. So thank you so much for watching and allowing me to show you all the amazing stuff that Clark makes. If you want to make a purchase of any of this stuff, I've got a link down below, but I think it's also just clarkpads.com/evx. So go there. If you make a purchase through that link, it supports me as well. A little bit of a kickback. Again, great product. Thank you so much. Enough rambling. Close it out here. See you in the next video. And as I always say, keep riding, never stop.